Hey, oh man, great time, guys. We're in a great period. We really are. Okay,
Temporarily block portions of ban.
we got about 35 seconds till we go live. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. You'll love this channel. This is where MAGA comes to talk. This is the most pro Donald Trump place you will find anywhere. All right. What story should I start with? There's so many. There we go.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right. Can you believe it is Thursday already, people? It is Thursday morning, June 29th, 2023. My name is Brian Craig, and of course, you were listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Celebrating 46 years on the radio this year, The Steve Kane Show. And man, do we have a lot to cover today. Oh my goodness. We've got some big stuff on Robert Kennedy Jr. Robert Kennedy Jr., huge stuff coming out in saying very positive things about President Trump. We're going to get into that, and I'll play some audio clips because it looks like what is going to be happening here at some point when the Democrats nominate someone other than Biden, it will probably not be Robert Kennedy. And it really is starting to look as if we're going to get a Robert Kennedy Jr. endorsement of President Trump. Can you imagine who would have ever thought a Kennedy would endorse a Republican? It is very, very possible, and we're going to talk about that as the show goes on, and there's a lot of other things to cover too. But I want to, it would be beautiful and amazing. Beautiful and amazing. And I'm looking forward to that, and I can feel it coming. Now, I know there's a lot being made about the IRS whistleblower. Was interviewed by Brett Baer last night. I did watch that on the Twitter this morning. I did not watch it on Fox. Full disclosure here, but it was a Fox interview that I saw on the Twitter. This is what's going on here, okay? This is what's going on. First of all, Fox News lies. Fox News lies. Wait to hear from Paul Ryan in a few minutes. But here is what is going on, people. I've been telling you this. The deep state and the Uniparty are trying to get Joe and Jill to announce that he's not running. All right? That's what's going on here. So all of these things that are coming out, this is the second whistleblower. We've got an FBI whistleblower where the bribe information came. Now we got the IRS whistleblower. These are all Uniparty deep state leaks that are out to put pressure on Joe and Jill to announce he's not running. And I have a question about the CPAP, okay? Because then we find out he's on a CPAP. Half the country's on CPAPs. I don't know why we're not advertising. So how many of you are on CPAPs? I'm not, but I know a lot of people are. The thing about Biden with the CPAP, because they saw the imprint on his skin. There's one thing I'm not clear about, and if you know the answer to this, please give me a call and let me know. What time of day was that video and photo taken of Biden with all the lines from the strap from the CPAP machine on his face? Does anyone know what time that was? Because for those impressions to still be on his face, he had to have just woken up. So I couldn't get what time of day that was, which would show us exactly what time he got out of bed, because he got out of bed just a few minutes before that, or the imprint marks would have been gone. But the IRS leaker and the FBI leaker, don't get excited after this, okay? Don't get excited over this stuff. All right? All they're doing is trying to put pressure on Biden to not run so they can plug someone else in. I know they're talking about Gavin Newsom. I don't know. I mean, that seems to be a little ridiculous. but they're looking to plug somebody else in there. They're trying to get him to announce that he's not running. That's what all these things are. There will be no justice in any of these cases. You know, watching Hunter Biden at that state dinner over the weekend was a big wake-up call for me. This guy is the scummiest man to ever be a child of a president. I mean, there's no getting around it. I mean, look, he uploads homemade porn to websites, right? I mean, come on. And that's, and does worse. And with all this sleaziness, all these quadrillionaires at the state dinner go in there and suck up to him and shake hands and joke and put their arm around his back and pat him on the back and suck up to the Biden Prince of Scummery. Okay, and that was a big wake-up call. None of this stuff matters. They're not going to go to jail. Biden is not going to go to jail. If there is an impeachment, if Kevin McCarthy can ever get around to it, I know he's very busy and all, trying to find ways to pretend to be MAGA, but he's not going to be removed from office in the Senate either. And some of the things that have happened with Joe Biden, there should be no question that the vice president should invoke the 25th Amendment. You know, this moment yesterday when he was talking about the war in Iraq, when he was trying to say Ukraine. His mind is mush. It's mashed potatoes. I mean, it's not, you know, I'll tell you what's very frightening that has happened to me this week on this program is how these mental slips of Biden's, when he said last week, I played that clip, he said last week, sitting next to the Prime Minister of India, that he has sold state secrets. Yesterday, he said Putin is losing the war in Iraq. You know, these slips that show that he is just very far gone cognitively, and no one seems really interested in talking about that. And I'm talking about you guys too in this audience. It seems to me that you all, even MAGA people, have just gotten used to it as if this is normal. You know, Tucker Carlson on Twitter Part 7 said, I talked about this right at the top yesterday, that Susan Rice, who's an incompetent, is running the country. She's Obama's representative in the White House, obviously. And I was telling you that when Tucker says that, that's insider information. Tucker Carlson is an insider. He knows what's going on. And when he says Susan Rice is running the country, we have the first black female president right now running the country. And that may work on day-to-day things, although how's that economy looking? But if there was a 9/11-like event, it would be a disaster, because with a president who's so checked out, there would be a complete collapse of the system because we don't have a leader. And I saw something on Twitter that someone posted, and I retweeted it. And this is the question I'm gonna ask you here. I'm gonna go through the 7 stages of dementia. I'm not kidding. I've got the list right here, the 7 stages of dementia. And my question to you is, what stage is Biden in? Stage 1 of dementia is no cognitive impairment. Well, I guess that's me. I have no cognitive impairment. Stage 2 is very mild cognitive decline. Stage 3 of dementia is mild cognitive decline. Stage 4 of dementia is moderate cognitive decline. Stage 5 of dementia is moderately severe cognitive decline. Stage 6 is severe cognitive decline. And stage 7 is very severe cognitive decline, and that's the final stage of dementia. So my question to you is, what stage of dementia is Biden at right now? Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. I am as serious as a heart attack on this question. Which stage of dementia is Biden currently in? We'll take our break. When we get back, there's a lot to cover today. I'm Brian, back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Brian Craig here. I've been telling you about how my chiropractor, Dr. Philip,
I'm going to go to the phones when we get back.
knee injury and arthritis pain with his laser away pain treatment. But don't just take my word for it. called me live on the radio to tell me how chiropractic physician Dr. Philip Appleton helped him.
Now, guys, I pinned to the top of the chat today's sponsor, simplyloveplr.com. So if you're looking like for high quality digital downloads like planners for Bible studies, shopping list, to-do list, your business, budgeting, any kind of digital download you can imagine, simplyloveplr.com has it. So click that link. Everything's very, very affordable. It's almost free. It's so low in prices, and it's a great way for you to support the program. And I pinned the link right there at the top of the chat. simplyloveplr.com. They're done-for-you content. They have templates that you can customize, and there's some pretty cool ones there. They have them for Bible studies, personal budgets, business budgeting. They have a whole bunch of word searches you can download, faith journey prompt templates, all kinds of things. Cat word searches, dog word searches, academic calendars, a 4th of July, Independence Day word search. There's so much there. And like I say, very low prices, and it's a great way for you to support the program and all of my content. simplyloveplr.com. I pinned the link right there at the top of the chat. So I appreciate your support, guys, as always. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, we are in uncharted territory, friends. Uncharted territory. And where am I? Absolutely. I'm a little behind on my coffee today. I left my coffee at home, so I had to stop and buy some on the way. I made my coffee and left it at the front door and didn't realize till I was like a mile from the house, and I'm like, oh, if I go back, I'll be running too late, so. All right, there we are. Does anyone know Flynn's Arcade, what that's from? I'm sure people in here know.
On 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. We'll get to your calls shortly. If you're just tuning in, a lot has happened. But I want to first tell people about Friendly Tire in Margate. Friendly Tire in Margate has been with us here on the Steve Kane Show for many, many years. They have the lowest prices on tires you will find anywhere. He has thousands of good used tires in stock. And he also has new tires, all the brands you know and love, at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. Firestone, Goodyear. He's got, if you have run flats, you definitely want to stop by. He also does tire repairs. And, you know, I tell you how they became a sponsor of the program is Steve. Every time Steve got new tires, he would tell me the next day, oh, man, I got new tires and I paid a fortune. It was like so much money. And I would always tell him, hey, Steve, next time you need tires, let me know. You got to go to this place, Friendly Tire. This is before they were advertising with us on the program. They got the lowest prices ever. And I was telling him the prices that I was paying for new tires. And he's like, oh, whatever. And then he came in one day, and the treads were showing on his van. He's like, I got to go get tires today after the show. And I said, go to Friendly Tire. And I called Mike, I got the price, and I told Steve. Steve did not believe me, but he went. And then my cell phone rang, and he said, Brian, you're right, I can't believe how low the tires are. And he had new tires at that at Friendly Tire. I said, yeah. And the next day we started doing spots for them right here on the air. Every car in my family is on the road on tires from Friendly Tire. And before my daughter moved to California, I took her car over to Friendly Tire and got her 4 new Firestone tires on her car. She didn't even need new tires, but I knew she would need them eventually in California, and I wanted her to, she's going to be driving the Vegas probably, driving the Pacific Coast Highway and everything else. I wanted to make sure she had new tires, and if she had to buy new tires out there, oh boy. So listen, when you call Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire, he will give you a quote right over the phone, and remember, that price is out the door and on the road, meaning that he doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or even dispose of your old tires. Some of our listeners that are from out of state that have driven to Florida for our cruises, when they've left the port, they've gone to Friendly Tire from the cruise ship before they drove back home. That has happened more than once with our out-of-town listeners. Here's the number for Friendly Tire in Margate, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445. Make sure that you tell him you heard about him from me, because he'll take extra good care of you. All right, if you're just tuning in, a couple things. I'm going to get into this in just a bit. RFK Jr. is almost endorsing President Trump. We're going to get into that. But I'm very upset that people in this audience and around the country don't seem concerned about this late-stage dementia that Joe Biden is in. And before I go to the calls, I want to play one clip. Do I have that clip here? Let's see here. Let's see. Is it that one? No, it's not that one. Is it that one? Yes. Okay. This is yesterday. He's trying to say Ukraine.
It's hard to tell, but he's clearly losing the war in Iraq. He's losing the war at home.
He's clearly losing the war in Iraq. He's talking about Putin in Ukraine, and he didn't even correct himself. He didn't even know. And the war in Iraq was not fought by Russia, and the war in Iraq has been over for a long time. And the lack of concern that people have, we've gotten numb to it. It's like it's the new normal, is having a dementia-suffering president. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff, hello, Brian.
Oh, hey, Jeff. What's up?
Hey, that Susan Rice and the old administration of Obama, I know Obama is the head of what we call, the deep state, but he's not. He's just the one that has been pulling strings and making choices, and but it goes back with the Bushes, the Clintons. They're all, that uniparty. What we thought when we got 2 choices, there was never 2 choices. It was just a different person, but the same,
Yeah.
longer, it's gone back so far. And RFK Jr. is a threat to them because he is just like his dad and his uncle. He will not be silenced. I mean, both of them were taken out, his own dad and uncle, and he's the biggest threat. And he is the one that could win the Democrat nomination easily, and that shows you how much they dislike him.
Well, I know why he's good. I believe that RFK Jr. will eventually, when the campaign is over, be on the campaign trail with President Trump. Okay, and this is why I think this. One, on a lot of the issues, he agrees with Trump on. But RFK Jr. has talked a lot about how the deep state killed his uncle and his father. And a lot of people don't know this. He's older than people think. He was with his dad when his dad was murdered by a Muslim man, by the way. He was with him then. I don't remember how old he was. I want to say 14, but I could be off on that. But I think I want to say 14. He was in that area. And he recognizes the dangers of the deep state. And I think RFK Jr., he's still a Democrat, and I don't agree with him on a lot of important things, but I think we can come to an agreement on the dangers of the deep state that have us all as prisoners in this country. And I think that seeing what the deep state has done to his family and seeing what the deep state is doing to President Trump and citizens in this country today, I see that as something that brings RFK Jr. to the Trump train when his campaign ends. And President Trump, I think, will probably promise to declassify all the Kennedy files, both Kennedy assassination files, and put him in charge of it.
Do you think that President Trump would give him a position in his administration? Because he is a very wise, even-keeled, he's a Democrat that would work with the Republicans.
Yeah, I don't know what job you would give him, but yeah, I could see him doing at least a senior advisor. I kind of like the idea of being kind of like, this is what I'd be very comfortable with Robert Kennedy Jr. in a Trump administration. I'd like to see him in Trump's second term have the same position that Jared Kushner had in the first, like the #1 top advisor. I'd like to see Robert Kennedy Jr. become President Trump's Bobby Kennedy to President Kennedy. You understand what I mean? Making him secretary of something is just, that's kind of like a dismissal of a job. He's not a diplomat. I don't know, is he an attorney? I don't think he's an attorney. I don't know. I think the top advisor, the most senior, maybe chief of staff, something like that. I wouldn't want to see him given some secretary job like Ben Carson that's just almost a ceremonial position. I'd like to see him in charge of a committee going through the Kennedy assassination files myself, both of them. I mean, that would be my, that should all be declassified. Almost everybody involved is gone now. Who's damaged by getting the truth of that out now? Unless the deep state that's still running the country did it.
You know what else?
He's an attorney.
Been a big opponent.
He is an attorney. Someone told me. Yeah. Go ahead.
He's an attorney.
Yeah.
He seems very smart up against being against who, and he's been outspoken against the too.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, that's I got to tell you, that's a mistake to get involved in. First off, that's like last year's issue and the year before, and the mainstream use that to discount people as nuts and kooks. I'm not saying that he is, but they do. That will stop him from rising. That's what they want him to be talking about, and that's what they want us to focus in on. No, I think being a senior. No, I don't want him involved in that either. No, what I want him to do is be put in charge of the declass. I want President Trump to declassify all the Kennedy files, all of them, everything, no redactions, everything. That's #1. I want to put him in charge of uncovering the deep state. There's a lot of people that got to be fired at the FBI, through the Justice Department in Trump's second term. And I'd like to see Robert Kennedy Jr. having something to do with that. He's yeah.
Hey, Brian, how about Attorney General? That's what his brother was, and he was
his dad. Well, I don't know too much about his legal career, but Attorney General would be a great idea if his mission was to bring down the police state of the Justice Department and the FBI. That would be a beautiful thing if that was his mission. And he did it. I wouldn't want him to get bogged down in investigating Hunter and Joe. I would want him to bring down the deep state, which is, I think, the #1 priority of Trump's second term. Yeah. Hey, listen, I got to run, Jeff, for the break. Thanks for the call. Callers on hold, stand by. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the only forecast.
Good day, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. We're going to see daytime the low 90s again, and the heat index values are going to be
Vice President, if he was out there doing something. I mean, like doing something. I just don't want him in some ceremonial position. You know?
Route 170 Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, control the traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
So far, so good for the Palm Beach. 95 minutes over by lane crash rate within the Sweet Field over Tony and Jupiter in downtown
Oh my goodness, guys. What a day. Where is everyone located today? I'm curious. Anybody, just, like state, country, whatever you want to share. Don't give too specific. But I'm kind of curious. We haven't done that check in a while. Where's everyone located? I, of course, am in Florida, right up the street from Mar-a-Lago. That's right. Melbourne, Australia. Wow. Ohio, lots of Ohio, Tennessee, England, Liverpool, Connecticut, Seattle, Northern Ireland. Wow, awesome, welcome. Oklahoma, North Carolina, Vermont, Hollywood, Florida, right down the street, Pueblo, Colorado, Louisiana, Roswell, New Mexico, Manchester, New Hampshire. Wow, look at that. Ohio's still full of smoke. Pennsylvania, too, huh? We get a lot of fires in Florida in the Everglades every few years. You'll smell it in the air. Heading back to Florida soon. Awesome. You're in Maine now. So let me see. Wait a minute. Let's see. I need that. Okay. I'm cleaning out my folder here. The copy updates for the commercials that I keep in my folder that I'm always looking at. And I have copy that's like years old in here. It gets confusing. Ugh. But yeah, that's what I was talking about at the top. All this stuff that's happening, the IRS whistleblower, FBI whistleblower, this is all the uniparty deep state trying to get Biden to drop out. That's all they're doing. There's no one plans on any of it moving towards any type of criminal actions. RFK doesn't sit well with you? No, I'll tell you why he's important. I don't want him to be, I think vice president's probably not a good idea. I think putting him in charge of the Kennedy files is a great one. But if he's on the campaign trail endorsing Trump, that's a good thing. Democrats love the Kennedys. They get goo-goo gaga over the Kennedys. And if Robert Kennedy were out there campaigning for Trump at Trump rallies, as we're leading up to the final, election day, it would bring people over that have never voted Republican in their life or ever thought that they would, voting for Trump. It's a pretty powerful thing. And I find it so interesting that his cousin, Carolyn Kennedy, President Kennedy's daughter, who's Biden's ambassador to Australia, has not commented on any of it so far as I know. Yeah. He could do more push-ups than me. I mean, I'm telling you. I haven't done push-ups in so long. I don't know how many I could do. He's in shape. He's not a young man. So he was about 14 when his dad died in 68. So, Bush 41 was in Dallas when Kennedy was shot. Yeah. All right, we're coming back. All right, welcome back. Call us on hold, stand by. You know, I was checking my DMs on Twitter this morning before the show started. I always do. First thing I do when I get off the air every day is I check my email and my DMs on all my socials. So if you guys message me, I do that. And I respond to as many people as I can. But I heard from some people, did you guys hear about this incident with Dan Bongino getting thrown out of a restaurant in Palm Beach over the weekend? Did you hear about that, Mike? Oh, yeah, Dan Bongino got thrown out of a restaurant, and it's a controversial thing. And I talked about it on my podcast a few days ago, and it's a very bizarre story, which I'm not going to go through right now. I may later, maybe not, I don't know, we'll see. But I get these DMs from people. It's almost like the same person DMing me 6 times on 6 different accounts. I don't know. But I'll never watch you again because you talked about the Bongino and all that. Let me tell you, you know, this is a thing that's been going on the last few years with some of our MAGA brothers and sisters. A lot of people on the Trump train are recovered liberal Democrats, okay? They're new to being Republicans. And every once in a while, they still have a little bit of that cancel culture in their blood, and they slip, and it comes out every once in a while. You talked about, what am I supposed to do? Not talk about it? It was the lead story everywhere. But you talked about, you know. Somebody else, they sent me a DM. They said, Brian, you could not tie Jesse Waters' shoes. Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that he's a lot better at letting the air out of tires than I am. I bet you that's true. I mean, my goodness. Just because someone has an R next to their name doesn't mean they get a free... What are we, like the Democrats? You know, I got that dummy that called me yesterday, Liberal Al. He said if Joe Biden pays for hookers and sells state secrets, he doesn't mind. Is that how you guys want to be? That Dan Bongino story, which I'm not going to go through now, there's a missing piece to that story that Bongino did not share. We'll see. Maybe I'll talk about it and take some calls. We'll see. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie.
Oh, hey, Richie the bus driver. Hey.
Yeah, you just brought up Bongino. Bongino told exactly what happened.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I listened to it twice. No, he... See what I'm talking about?
His wife was grabbed. She was put on... Yes, his wife was grabbed, and they put her up. He didn't get thrown out of that place.
All right. No. Listen. I knew about the story before I went on the air that day, and I didn't talk about it. Well, let me. Hey, calm down. You got your panties all in a wad here, Richie. My goodness. Yeah. Well, you wear panties? That's interesting. Okay.
Oh, I don't wear panties, Brian.
Okay. All right. Well, no, not hey. No. Hold on. I'm here till now. We got time. This is what. Okay. I knew about that story before I went on the air the other day. It was in Politico, it was in the Daily Mail, it was in many outlets, and I didn't utter a word because it seemed a little strange to me. And I waited until Bongino went on his podcast and told the story. And I watched it 2 times in its entirety. I believe him, but he left, the story is missing some pieces, okay? This is the story, okay? Bongino had a party bus with some friends celebrating, I guess it was a birthday, and they were at a restaurant in Palm Beach. And Palm Beach, if you don't know, is very fancy. There's West Palm Beach, and then there's Palm Beach, okay? And Palm Beach is where Mar-a-Lago is, and Rush lives, and Hannity, and Brett Baer, and the Kennedy compounds there and everything. And the original story was that Bongino got into a fight and got thrown out of a restaurant. And I said, there's something, I don't know about that. Something's up. So, but this is what Bongino said. His wife left to use the restroom. I think he said he was on the phone, and he saw a guy with a woman in a headlock, like a bear hug headlock, dragging a woman out of the restaurant. And he was watching, and then Bongino said, I recognized her bracelet and said, that's my wife. So he said he went up to the guy and said, "Get your hands off my effing wife." And because he's a well-known celebrity and he didn't want any paparazzi, he hightailed it out of there on the party bus. He said that she was in line for the wrong bathroom. So, okay, so she was in line for the men's room and she got put in a headlock, and Bongino, who's an ex-federal agent, right, Secret Service, and a New York City police officer, his wife's in the wrong line. She gets manhandled, and he just left. There's something missing to that story. That story stinks.
He said yeah, well, you don't believe him. He said...
I believe him. No. I believe him, but there's more to the story that he didn't share. There's something else. If someone, I don't care if my wife is so drunk she can't stand up, and the guy was an employee of the restaurant, okay, was what was reported. If someone did that to my wife or your wife, not only would we get very upset and throw a bigger fit than he did, I would also call the police, because your wife is the victim of a physical assault by a man, and I'd press charges against that person, and they'd go to jail, and I'd make sure of it, and I would be very high he didn't lie. I think everything he told is true, but there's something missing. At least,
Put a different thing altogether. The original was a complete fabrication by the Democrats. Let me just say this to you about Kennedy, okay? And the guy who just called you from Maine, Jeff from Maine, he's so enthusiastic, and you're not sure about Kennedy. Kennedy is the biggest climate change guy you ever wanted to meet. He's a freak with that. Matter of fact, if he says, well, you don't believe him, basically he makes some terrible quotes about people that are climate change deniers like you and I are. I wouldn't want him 10 feet near the president.
Oh, no. So you're so short-sighted, This is why there's a couple reasons why I want Kennedy, when his campaign is over, on the campaign trail with Trump. I don't want to make him vice president, okay? I don't even want to make him... I want him to do two things, okay? I want him on the stage telling people to support this President Trump, who, because the Kennedys have an effect on Democrats that is undescribable. They just have a magnetism. And RFK on the campaign trail with President Trump would get so many Democrats voting for President Trump that have never voted Republican in their life. It would be amazing. Number two, the first priority of not the first, but the biggest priority of President Trump in his second term is not the border or any of that stuff. It's dismantling the deep state. The deep state took his daddy away from him, took his uncle away from him. He talks about it all the time. And I can think of nothing better than putting him in charge of going through the Kennedy files and having some type of role in dismantling the deep state. There's something we can agree on with him. All that other stuff is a distraction. I don't want him to. I'm not. I know he's pro-abortion and pro-gun control too. Probably he's a Democrat, but he could help us win, and he could help us dismantle the biggest threat to this country, the deep state. They killed his father and his uncle.
The other thing about the dementia of this president, and you and I have talked about it. Bill O'Reilly, I watch him almost every day. I love this guy. I'm sorry to say I don't know how you feel about it, but he actually has a daily, he talks daily about Biden's workday. Biden doesn't do anything. They have that's the biggest secret of all. I don't know when he wakes up, but he doesn't do anything.
Well, I was asking, I was asking at the top, and the photograph of him with the CPAP strap marks, I believe, it's difficult to get an exact time on that. I was looking last night and this morning, but from what I can gather, that photograph and video was taken somewhere around 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the a.m. here on the East Coast. For him to have those marks on tells us that he just got out of bed right before that. Okay, if he's getting up at 9 or 9:30 in the morning, that's a big problem. And those.
His schedule is not there, and that's the biggest secret of all. And he says, remember what he said look at me if I'm kidding. He does nothing. It isn't a matter that President Trump does a lot. This guy does nothing. The country is falling apart. His schedule is so light.
Yeah.
He's away every weekend. Every weekend he's gone to the White House. The most this guy does is get on the helicopter and leave and come back.
Yeah, that's correct. Sleeps.
And sleeps all day long, and he makes mistakes more now than he ever did. He doesn't know where to get off the stage. He doesn't know which way to turn. And then when he talks, he keeps on talking. He says, I'm going to get...
Oh, yeah.
This guy is look like an old bumbling fool.
Oh, yeah.
No spring chicken, but I got my brain yet. And it's unbelievable what I'm watching.
Absolutely.
America's sitting back, and we're laughing stock of the world. I was listening to Nevada, man. That guy said somebody in, I think, Korea, on Korea TV or one of these countries, it's like Saturday Night Live with Biden.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fool in the eyes of the world, and we better wake up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Take care, Richie. All right. We'll be right back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
The 8th annual Delray Beach Summer Green Market.
Oh, man. Hey, guys. If you're just tuning in, make sure you subscribe and everyone like the video. You know, what I was talking about was I really don't want RFK to be secretary or something. I don't want him to be vice president. I want he has been talking about for years about how the deep state killed his dad and his uncle. And he's very detailed about it. And I see him having a major role in the dismantling of the deep state. Don't you guys? I mean, you know, declassify all the Kennedy files, no redactions, give them to him. He's probably the leading expert on the Kennedy assassinations, plural, both of them. And when the truth comes out of those files, and you couple that with everything that President Trump's going through, that's how you do it. All this short-term thinking. Oh, he's the climate change. We're not going to have him involved in policy like that. The enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing, you know? Boy, Richie was getting all upset because talked about that thing. What do you guys think happened with Bongino? He just left something out of the story. I just thought it was an interesting story. But I waited until he responded and added some information before I discussed it.
Replacement pellet therapy is all natural. What it does is restore your hormones to where they were when you were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, you'll have more energy, you'll get your sex drive back, and women. Hormone replacement pellet therapy completely stops and reverses all the signs and symptoms.
No, Kennedy. You guys probably don't know about the Kennedy sex diary. They're holding on to that. I mean, when that comes out, oh my goodness. Exactly. Exactly. They were smashed. They were falling down drunk. That's why they, you know, it happens. It happens. I mean, I've been drunk. You guys have been on the cruise, probably seen it, but you haven't seen me get thrown out of anywhere. You know.
Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. Yeah. Oh, the My Pillow pet bed. Oh, a huge sale going on right now. 50% off the My Pillow pet bed. $19.99. I have two of these. I have one next to my bed, and then I have a standing desk at home for my studio at home, and I do all my show prep there. So I have one of the My Pillow pet beds next to my bed, and then I have one underneath my standing desk. And when I get up in the morning, my dog is sleeping in the My Pillow pet bed next to my bed, and I get up and take a shower and get dressed, and I go in my home studio and do my show prep in the morning, and my dog Nina is sleeping right there waiting for me where my feet will soon be at the standing desk. And, you know, pet beds, you got to get the My Pillow pet bed. I have had every pet bed you can imagine. And this one is spectacular, not just because it has that same patented fill inside as the My Pillow, but it's completely 100% machine washable inside and out. Other pet beds, you can't wash them. You can wash the cover. And dogs and cats, they bring in stuff from outside. They leave things on them, you know what I mean, relieve themselves on occasion, and they're animals. And the other pet beds, you can only wash the cover, not what's underneath. So everything soaks through. It's never clean. You can never get the cover back on right after you wash it. The My Pillow pet bed, I have two of them. I've had one of them for many years, and the other one for a couple years. They both look brand new. Put them in the wash, put them in the dryer, boom, fresh, just like new. 50% off the My Pillow pet bed. They come in 3 different sizes. I have the large ones. They're just $19.99 with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com. You can also order online at 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE. All right, so RFK Jr. did an interview with Elizabeth Vargas, who used to date Michael Douglas long ago. And he talked a little bit about President Trump.
And so I'm proud that President Trump likes me, even though I don't agree with him on most of his issues. Because I don't want to alienate people. I want to bring people together. I'm proud that all these people like me and that I have independent supporters and Democratic supporters, and that I'm able to bring a lot of people. You know, every Democrat says, I want to end the polarization. But how do you do that without talking to people who don't agree with you? How do you do that without appealing to people? My purpose is to find the issues, the values that we have in common, rather than, focus on the issues and the personalities that keep us all apart.
As a lifelong Democrat, as you just said very passionately, will you pledge to support whoever the Democratic nominee is, whoever it is, whether it's you, whether it's President Biden?
Oh, of course I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. No, of course I'm not. Listen,
if you don't get the nomination, you won't support President Biden?
I don't know what it'll do. Let's see let's see what happens in this campaign. Let's see, if people are living up to Democratic values and having debates and having discussions and, talking to each other, but I'm not going to buy it.
If that's not happening, would you then support a Republican or run as an independent?
You know what? My plan is to win this election, and I don't have a plan B.
Okay, and he's not going to win. He's not going to win. He's not going to get the nomination, but he will. I would put my money on him endorsing Trump over the Democrats. You guys, let me know. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 1-888-465-2631. By the way, those marks from the mask on Biden, do you buy that that's from a CPAP machine, by the way? A CPAP machine, for those of you that don't know, is something that people sleep with at night that, have sleep apnea. It keeps the nasal passages and everything open so you are breathing better at night. Do you think that that was for a CPAP machine or something else? I just got a text message from someone. That they think it was nitrix. I don't know. I'll throw it out to you guys. It just seems that the time of the day, was he sleeping that late? Was he already up? Is there any record that he was up and about earlier in the morning? I don't know. I've just seen the CPAP story came out too quick, and everybody just accepted it so fast too. I don't know. You guys let me know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey Mike, how you doing?
We're talking about this president, right? We can all agree that when a president makes a phone call and talks to the other leaders, it's a very important phone call, right?
Yeah.
And people are always hanging on what is said on those phone calls, right? I'm living with somebody that's cognitive. My mom is cognitively impaired and has a little bit of the dementia here.
Oh.
And when she makes phone calls to her best friend, right, within 15 minutes of being on the phone, it's like a circle back. She starts the phone call all over again.
Really? Wow.
Yes. So, and she doesn't know she's doing.
Now, let me ask you honestly now, without the partisanship. That's pretty bad. So your mother's in late stage cognitive decline. You see her, you see Biden. Do you think Biden is at the stage of cognitive decline your mother is in, or do you think Biden or your mother are in a better spot? What do you think?
I think my mom is. I think my mom might very well be in a better spot because.
Really? Wait a minute. She has a phone conversation. Halfway through the call, she starts it over again as if it never happened. You think she's in a better mental state cognitively than Joe Biden?
Because think about this. She does have short-term memory. She hasn't lost all her memory. I think Biden has a problem with memory because he'll say things in speeches and do things and forget that he's done them and said them.
And he's also inappropriate. He's inappropriate with people. He smells people and touches people and things.
Right, and remember there was a point that he was doing a speech, and because he has this problem, they had to have an earwig in his ear to keep him on point. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when that's going on, he's really in bad shape. When you're having to do everything to keep the guy on point.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Well, okay. Thanks for your observation. So that's I don't know, he's living with somebody in that condition, and he thinks Biden's worse than them. I think he is in the furthest mental decline you can really be and still be a walking person and not be bedridden. Because you see him, he's declined so much just in the last, I think, few weeks. And a lot of it has to do with the stress coming down around him that the uniparty deep state are putting on him with all these criminal charges, the bribes, and all of that. You know, when somebody has that type of cognitive decline going on, it makes and they're dealing with stress, it makes it worse. And this comment when he said the war in Iraq and when he was trying to say Ukraine yesterday, I mean, you see how he's behaved, and he, without question, they should invoke the 25th Amendment. And you know, the 25th Amendment, it doesn't just remove the president. If the vice president invokes that, they get the majority of the cabinet to sign off on it. No, the president has the right to challenge it in front of Congress, and there can actually be, I guess, a hearing, maybe kind of like an impeachment type thing. But the president, if it's invoked, can go and challenge the 25th Amendment, and I think it would be done. You know, Jill Biden, people think that she's a nice person. She raised Hunter, and she's lived with this guy for decades. She's just as bad as he is. She may even be worse, all right? She's the one that's holding him up right now. And she's the one who won't sign off on not running for re-election. So if they invoke the 25th Amendment, she would not be happy about that. I saw this morning, Tucker Carlson, they say, is raising money for a new media company. And now this is an amazing thing, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I kind of like what he's doing. He has no responsibility to anyone. He can do and say whatever he wants. Once he gets a company going and he's got backers, at some point, there's other influence into what he does and says, even if there's not in the beginning. A lot of times people say, oh, you do whatever you want, Tucker, and then once they're in and they own you. So I don't know how I feel about him raising money, outside funds, not his own, for a new media company. That, I think, we could lose Tucker on that. I think what he's doing right now on Twitter is the beginning of something completely new, and I really wish he would stick with that until after the election. I really do. I think he can be more impactful doing what he's doing right now on Twitter, and I think he could be instrumental in getting President Trump back on Twitter, which is really where he needs to be. That and Truth. I don't want him to leave Truth, but President Trump needs to be on Twitter. He could be reaching as many people as Tucker does every day if he'd get back on there with videos. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. Back after this.
WWNN Palm Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by the Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently? Call the Rogues Law Group, where winning is a habit.
Oh, man.
561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Rogues, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show.
Exactly. Veritas is prime example of that.
Furniture Weather Center.
Exactly.
Outdoor spaces are created. Here's the oldies forecast.
Good day, everybody. Hope you're off to an awesome start. We're going to see daytime highs today, which will surge into the low 90s again, and the heat index values are going to be at about 100 degrees. So sweltering again about 50%.
Just because she's not officially working at the White House doesn't mean she's not still running things. When Tucker Carlson says that she's running things, that's a very well-informed statement by him.
The best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Now that she doesn't work there officially, her movements aren't monitored. She can do more damage. All right.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come out to the newly renovated poker room at PBKC, open daily for cash games, high-hand giveaways, mega bad beat jackpots, and big money tournaments. You can also play your favorite casino.
If you're on hold, hang in there. I'll get to the calls after the break.
Poker with just a $5 minimum. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com. Here's your True Oldies ABC News update.
ABC News Now, I'm Tom Rivers. The U.S. Coast Guard says what's believed to be what's left of the crew of the doomed OG-X Titan submersible has been recovered.
As the first debris from the Titan sub is lifted.
You know, I read that that submarine that went to the Titanic was made out of fiberglass and that the window was plexiglass. Is that true? What the heck? If the owner of that company wasn't dead, he'd be like getting arrested for murder. I mean, my goodness, guys. Now listen, I pinned in the chat a link, simplyloveplr.com. They have all kinds of cool digital downloads. So go there, download those. They're very, very low prices, almost free. And they have coloring book pages for kids. They have balance sheets for businesses, templates, home budget and money tracker templates, monthly budget templates, word searches for the summer, 4th of July, word searches. What else do they have? Cat word searches, travel word searches, faith journey, Bible study prompts, so many different things there. Bible study templates, all kinds of things, and you can customize them. And it's simplyloveplr.com. They're linked in the chat. So go there, buy something, and support the show. Let's see. Where are we going to go when we get back? Hey, and those of you that are going on our cruise that have already made reservations, you want to call Ian ASAP. There's a really cool thing happening with our cruise that I'm not allowed to announce on the air yet. because celebrity has to update all their stuff, and it's a really cool thing. So if you're going on the cruise, I've already made a reservation. Call Ian and touch base with him. He's on a plane right now, flying home from New Zealand. But I was just talking to him a little bit ago. He's got Wi-Fi. He's getting calls, emails, texts. He's got everything going on. There we go. All righty, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Indeed, it is on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hey, Doug.
Hey, man. You know, all I can say is if we had a reasonably good vice president, I think they would have impeached him already and put the 25th Amendment out, but she's just not capable of being a president.
Yeah.
So we're damned if we do, damned if we don't, because this guy is shot. He's always been, I don't remember.
His mind is mashed potatoes. I mean, he's just out of it. He's out of it. It's sad almost. It's almost sad.
Yeah, well, all I'm figuring is that he knows if he gets out of the office, there's no more money, and he wants to stay in there.
That's right. You know, like there's all this talk about Bidenomics, and he's talking about how great the economy is. Bidenomics is taking bribes when you're a public official, and his personal economic situation has improved because he's on the take, and the money's coming in like crazy. All right, Doug, take care. Thanks for the call. All right, so this snake, Paul Ryan, former Speaker of the House, hates Trump, on the board of directors of Fox News, gave an interview yesterday on television. Was it Fox Business or CNBC, this interview? I can't remember. I pulled it offline. And Paul Ryan is talking about President Trump.
About Trump and who the Republicans should run. Yeah, so I don't have that job anymore. So I'm very clear with, look, it's a disaster if we nominate Trump. You know, I think that I've been saying this for a long time. But Liz is right, which is he could win. I think.
Okay, so this is something else. It's a disaster if we nominate Trump, Paul Ryan says, but he could win. Well, if you're a Republican, you want a Republican to win over a Democrat, even a Republican you don't like, right? Would you rather have a Republican you don't like as opposed to a Democrat? Democrats are for gun control. Democrats are for abortion. Democrats are for a lot of crazy stuff, okay? So why is it a terrible thing as a Republican, lifelong Republican, for Trump to get nominated if you also think he could win? See, I've used this expression to you guys on the air many times, and a lot of people think I'm nuts, but I think a lot of you agree with me. What Paul Ryan is saying is he would rather lose the election than lose control of the Republican Party. And if Trump is nominated, he'll win. Paul Ryan said he could win, and that means Paul Ryan and all these snakes that he's friends with, the Republican establishment, will lose control of the party. He wants to lose the election. He wants to have a Democrat. Paul Ryan thinks Gavin Newsom would be better than Trump as president. That's what he's saying here. But anyway, that's just the beginning. This might take till 9 to get through if I keep stopping on every 3 words. But Paul Ryan is a sleazy snake.
About Trump and who the Republicans should run. Yeah, so I don't have that job anymore. So I'm very clear with, look, it's a disaster if we nominate Trump. You know, I think that I've been saying this for a long time. But Liz is right, which is he could win.
Okay. If he could win, why is it a disaster, Mr. Republican? I don't get it. That just doesn't make sense because they're concerned about maintaining control of the power of the party and the.
I think we lose with them. I think we're much more likely to lose. We haven't won anything.
Wait a minute. He said he can win, but we'll lose with him.
Disaster if we nominate Trump. You know, I think that I've been saying this for a long time. But Liz is right, which is he could win. I think we lose with him. I think we're much more likely to lose. We haven't won anything with him since he first won in 16. We lost the House in 18, the presidency in 20. The Senate in 20, and we could have won the Senate in 2022. But
notice how this snake skips over the House. We fired Nancy Pelosi. We retook the House of Representatives from Nancy Pelosi in the midterms. So we haven't lost everything, Paul Ryan, you liar. We would have won bigger in the House if Fox News carried the damn Trump rallies when he was endorsing all of these candidates, which they didn't do. Yeah. And there weren't that many Republican seats in play last time in the midterms in the Senate.
Are you going to endorse it? Is Rupert going to tell you who to endorse?
No, I'm going to endorse whoever I want. But right
You're
now,
on the board of Fox. That's why I said it.
Yeah, I know. I'm for anybody not named Trump right now. Anybody?
Wow. I'm for anyone not named Trump. Hey, Paul Ryan, Adolf Eichmann is running for president against Trump. I'm for anyone against Trump. Wow. I'm for anyone whose name is not Trump. He's getting emotional here, isn't he, Paul Ryan?
Won the Senate in 2022, but for...
Are you going to endorse it? Is Rupert going to tell you who to endorse?
No, I'm going to endorse whoever I want. But right
You're
now,
on the board of Fox. That's why I said it.
Yeah, I know. I'm for anybody not named Trump right now.
Anybody not named Trump?
Anybody not named
RFK? Anybody not named Kennedy?
A Republican not named Trump. I'm for any Republican not named Trump because I think we beat Biden for sure if we nominate a Republican not named Trump.
Any idea who you think could get the... I mean, everybody's down by 40 points.
We're going to find out. Look, Donald Trump and Joe Biden have a symbiotic relationship with each other. They make the best case for each other's candidacies, and it's a total disaster for our country. In a country of 350 million people, you think that's the best. It's somebody else.
Do you think you win if you nominate somebody not named Trump?
I do.
Because you make everybody who was supporting Trump very mad.
Yeah, so like I'm a never again Trumper, so obviously...
Hear that? He says he's a never again Trumper. But we're in a cult. He said, I'm a never again Trumper. I've not heard that before. Yeah, that's Trump derangement syndrome for sure. I've never heard that one before. But we're in a cult.
Somebody else.
Do you think you win if you nominate somebody not named Trump?
I do.
Because you make everybody who was supporting Trump very mad.
Yeah, so like I'm a never again Trumper, so obviously that the 33% Trump base doesn't like a person like me because I'm very clear. I don't think he's fit, and I don't think he can win. Liz is right, he could, and that's dangerous. I mean, yeah, you think he could even populate a cabinet and get through the Senate? I mean, it could be a total disaster. But I believe strongly, if we nominate a Republican not named Donald Trump, we win this White House. I really believe.
Oh, yes.
And so all we got to do is do that. And I think voters are going to realize his baggage is so big, we're not going to win with him, and there are all these other Republicans that they're fine with that can win. So I think there's plenty of Republicans that can traffic with MAGA and win the suburban vote in the White House.
Did you watch Succession? Have you seen it?
I did watch Succession.
So that guy was picking president, so it wasn't crazy for me. Like, it wasn't crazy for me to ask you that. It wasn't crazy for me to ask you that.
That's not real.
Thank you, Paul. I'm sorry.
Okay, Paul Ryan. Now, if you need a reason not to watch Fox News, that's the guy who runs Fox News Channel. And you know what I heard with Paul Ryan? Hysterics, panic, anxiety, nervousness. He is in a panic over Trump. He is in a hysterical fit over President Trump. You hear that? So if you haven't stopped watching Fox yet, that's the guy that runs Fox News. You think you're going to get fair and balanced coverage over on Fox? I don't think so. All right, we're going to take our first break of the second hour. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And don't forget, if you ever miss a portion of the show, first off, shame on you. You know, this show starts at 6. You shouldn't miss a second. But if you do, you can always go to our radio station website, TrueOldiesFLA.com. And at TrueOldiesFLA.com, each morning, about an hour after we sign off the air, the entire show is uploaded online as a podcast and archived there forever. And I know a lot of people, they call in and they want to download the show and save their call and everything else. You can do all of that as well. TrueOldiesFLA.com. TrueOldiesFLA.com. Never miss a part of the show. All right? Okay, we'll take our break. We'll come back with your calls, and there's much more, too. I'm Brian. It's The Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
A good home security system has a bajillion parts. You've got your motion sensors, glass break detectors, camera lenses, signal relays, but none of that really matters if you don't have one important piece, a human being. That's right, a real human being. When a Sloman's home security advisor visits a home, they get to know the people that live there. They listen and learn. That's how they come up with the best solution to keep you safe. Yeah, you can buy all those fancy gadgets yourself, but what are all those without the humans behind the technology? Sloman's believes in their people so much, they give you the technology for free. So not only do you get a human security advisor, you'll receive a customized home security system with professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. The system includes an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 armed doors, and a backup battery. But most importantly, the people who stand behind it. So call Sloman's at 1-833-283-5050. That's 1-833-283-5050. Sloman's, the difference is...
Let me see.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day, to buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800.
Oh my goodness. Do you know how much UPS drivers make? My goodness.
Promo code Kane.
Hey, how you doing? It's Uncle Eddie from Uncle Eddie's Restaurante. Listen up for all the locals out there. It's time for a deal. Half price entrees. Yep, you heard me right. 50% off all dinners from 4 to 6 Wednesday through Sunday, and 20% off the whole entire menu to go, including the best thin crust pizza in town. Forget about it. Where else are you gonna get delicious beef ravioli, linguine clam sauce, lasagna, pork chops? Nowhere. My prices are insane. Stop going to those fugazi joints. You're not gonna find great food and entertainment like at Uncle Eddie's. Where else are you gonna go and have the
Where?
Come down to Uncle Eddie's, 4050 US
There it is.
north of Donald Ross Road, 561-408-7799. Hurry up in.
How would you like to lose weight, look better, and feel better about yourself? Brian Craig here with a great new message from Elegant Youth. Their new semi-glutide treatment burns fat, boosts energy levels, suppresses appetite, balances blood sugar, and promotes rapid weight loss. Elegant Youth is in the Sandalwood Plaza, right next to any lab test of Boca. Give them a call right now. 561-717-8081. 561-717-8081. Online at elegantyouthboca.com.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Garrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back, one and all. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. I want to talk a minute about Sloman's. You know, you've got to get yourself this security system from Sloman's, all right? Now, they have a human, real person security advisor come to your home, meet with you, look over your property to make sure that you get the security system that you need. You know, the other day, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this yesterday, a couple mornings ago, at around 8:30 or so in the morning, I get a panic call from my wife. There were police at the front door, and she was concerned. So she was talking to the police while she was on the phone with me during our bottom of the hour break, and there was a crime on my street, and the police wanted to see our security footage from our camera that we have at the front door. And yeah. And it's a good thing to have with motion detector and all that stuff. I love it. And it's perfectly placed. So listen, call Sloman's, okay? And their security advisors are real good. They are top notch. And, you know, when you call Sloman's, that security advisor, as I said, comes out, meets with you, looks over your home. And Sloman's is going to give you all the technology that comes with that security system for free, right? You get a customized home security system with professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. The system includes an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 armed doors, and a backup battery. And give them a call. You get all this. Just give them a call. 833-283-5050. I love having the security system. I love having the camera a lot. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. All right, now I just want to talk here briefly about this UPS strike that they're talking about. And this one here, you know, my wife is not able to get out and go to the store and stuff like a lot of people because of her disability issues. So my wife does everything with, Instacart and Amazon Prime and everything else. We've got UPS and Amazon drivers coming to our house for everything. And our UPS driver knows us so well. He gives us Christmas cards every year. We give him Christmas cards with a gift certificate in them and everything. But when they start griping and striking, I don't have any sympathy for UPS drivers. FedEx is another deal because they don't make that much money. But UPS drivers, listen to that, they're Teamsters. The Teamsters gave UPS a 1-week notice on Tuesday to act responsibly and exchange a stronger economic proposal. So they've offered them a raise during this Biden recession, but it's not enough. And the Teamsters have given UPS notice? Doesn't the boss usually give notice to the employees? Isn't that something? So I looked up what the drivers make, guys, from the picket line in studio. So this is like 95, 97-ish, okay? And we had them in studio. Steve and I are in studio, and Steve just asked a question just out of curiosity. How much do you make? And they didn't want to tell us. But then they did. Now, this was in between 1995 and 1997. Okay, so that was a while ago. But, it was a long time ago. Clinton was president, and they were making over $50,000 a year, between $50,000 and $60,000 a year. Can you imagine? Now, this is like 1995, 1997, somewhere in that window. I know it was in that window because I remember the studio we were in. We were in Miami. It was before we went to 940 Winds, which was in Hollywood, and the old Neil Rogers studio over there and stuff, where Y100 and all that was. But 50 to 60, one was making 50, one was making like 58,000 a year in the 90s. And Steve says, what are you griping about? You're making 50,000 a year picking up boxes. So then I'm hearing they're on strike again. I mean, they lost all credibility with our callers then. You don't want to make Teamsters upset. They get really thuggery when you do. And then, we got this strike going on now. They're threatening to strike. They've made demands. So I looked up, I Googled this. The average UPS driver makes between $95,000 and $112,000 a year. But on top of that, it says add another $50,000 on top of that to include health, welfare, and pension contributions to each. After 4 years, UPS drivers earn $42 an hour, but some are making as much as $160,000 according to this. Are you kidding me? So a UPS driver is making 6 figures a year, and they're griping? And what are they griping about? They're making demands for more? Think about it. I mean, and nothing against UPS drivers. They work very, very hard. Believe me, I understand that. They work hard. But it's a job that takes very little skills, no education beyond high school. I guess you got to get do you need a special driver's license to drive that truck? Not talking about FedEx guys don't make that much money. We're talking about UPS. I want you to think about this. If you had a job making $100,000 a year plus, right? And they were still offering you a raise and it required no skills, would you be griping? And think about all the overtime they get at Christmas. Yeah, they got a CDL license. Big deal. I can go get one of those. Think about that. Would you be complaining? Would you be making demands on UPS? Would you, Mike, if you were making $160,000? I don't think so. I would be thanking them, wouldn't you? And this is amazing. The last time we talked about a strike, they were making 50 to 60. So they have doubled their pay since 95 or 97. The last time we visited this topic on the show. They've doubled their pay, 100% pay increase since the last time we talked about a UPS strike on this program years ago, and they're griping? Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. These people, they just don't get it. And I'm reading the articles, and listen to this. The International Brotherhood of Teamsters, oh my goodness, walked away from a bargaining table Wednesday and officially demanded UPS exchange its last, best, and final offer to no later than June 30th. The Teamsters gave UPS a one-week notice Tuesday, I should say, to act responsibly and exchange a stronger economic proposal. UPS executives couldn't make it one more day without insulting and ignoring union leaders and rank and file. They're making over $100,000 a year with no college education, driving a truck, lifting boxes. I know a lot of you out there work a lot harder than that for a lot less. The Teamsters said they had reached consensus on 55 non-economic issues with the company, but that UPS has continued to seek a cost-neutral contract during economic negotiations. The reason that China is in the position they're in today is because unions drove all the manufacturing jobs to China by pulling crap like this. Now, they can't drive UPS to China because we need the trucks to bring things, but you know what? They could drive the packages to Amazon Prime. They certainly could. You know, the unions have destroyed the middle class in this country. The unions have destroyed manufacturing jobs in this country. The unions are the reason, in their outrageous demands like these thugs here, the unions are the reason that China very well may be the number one superpower in the world and have money to buy off all of our politicians, is because of the unions. All right, our number is 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 1-888-465-2631. I don't know, do we have any union people in this audience? If you're a UPS driver, I'd love to hear from you. Oh yeah, I'd love to hear a UPS driver tell me they're making over $100,000 a year delivering boxes and they're being taken advantage of. I want to hear that. I want to hear that. How much do the pilots make that fly the big jumbo jets that fly the packages? Now those guys should be making $100,000 a year. But driving a truck, delivering boxes to people's houses? And by the way, the UPS drivers, have you ever been to an office filled with women employees when the UPS driver comes in? Oh yeah, these guys are players. You ever see that? The women go nuts when the UPS guy comes in. Anyway, we'll take our break and be right back. Oh, okay.
Who are you? Well, can you tell me what? You're the mother of this house? I'm the mother of this house. Great. Well, we've never met, so let's meet.
Sponsor your first job and get hiring today by visiting Indeed.com/
your favorite casino table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum. For more information, go to bbkennelclub.com.
If you're a homeowner, business owner, or with a homeowners association and your roof is old or compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Tom Laporta will give you a free evaluation. Laporta Contracting was voted one of the best general contractor and best roofers in South Florida. He's honest, knowledgeable, and reliable, and will never sell you a roof you don't need. If you have an insurance claim, call your insurance company immediately. Then call Tom Laporta. Laws are in effect that allow Tom to negotiate directly with your insurance company on the cost of all repairs, so you don't necessarily need to employ a public adjuster or a lawyer. Tom can handle any type of roofing job too. Residential roofing and repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can do it. Call Tom Laporta right now, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportacontracting.com.
The 8th annual Delray Beach Summer Green Market is back again. This open-air farmers market starts on June 3rd and continues to July 29th on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Located on the corner of Swinton Avenue and East Atlantic on the front lawn of the Old School Square. Shop with South Florida's premier farmers, bakers, small batch culinary food artisans, and witness local chefs showing up for cooking demonstrations. The Green Market is open rain or shine, pet friendly, and has free parking. The Green Market is a licensed SNAP provider, so you can shop with eligible SNAP vendors. Double your SNAP benefits at the Green Market with fresh access bucks, dollar-for-dollar match. You SNAP, we match. This is a program of the Delray Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. See you on Saturday.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Can that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
Is it true? I think that UPS trucks are only supposed to make, is it left turns or right turns? They're only supposed to make either right turns or left turns. I think right turns probably because there's less likely to be an accident. I remember reading that once. I'm not sure. All right, welcome back, one and all. Oh, man. All right, our number 1 AAA Go Kane. I was reading this article during the break. This is, what a joke. Well, let me pull this article up. So Fox News, they've announced their new lineup. They have rearranged the deck chairs on the Titanic. I know, old saying, but they've done it. They're losing. There's been a mass exodus of viewers. So to bring viewers back, they just rearrange the time slots of the people that are already there. They didn't bring someone in that's new and exciting at like Don Jr. or Kim Guilfoyle or someone. I mean, come on. But I'm reading this article in The Hill. 5 things you did not know about rising Fox News star Jesse Waters. Full disclosure, I cannot stand Jesse Waters, okay? And so I'm not going to pretend I don't like Jesse Waters. I do not like this guy. And I've never really liked Jesse Waters. He's very full of himself. And he does this thing that when he started this 7 o'clock show, he did this thing where he gives out a text number and then he reads the text at the end of the show. And the text messages are always suck-up text messages. And he had Greg Gutfeld on. This was the first week or two he was doing that 7 o'clock show. And he was reading through the text messages, and they do it with a graphic on the screen. And Gutfeld was there. And Gutfeld said, your staff must be terrified of you to put all these suck-up text messages. But anyway, This is The Hill. 5 things you didn't know about rising Fox News star Jesse Waters. 1. Jesse Waters is a Fox News insider. He got his start at Fox as a production assistant in '02, right out of college. Walters is likely to bring a new style to the hour. He's different than Tucker, okay? He could still draw scrutiny from Fox's biggest critics. Some things he said about Fauci. Walters has so far shown a preference for Trump over DeSantis. And the network, now what's left out of that? The 5, was that 5? Let me count. Let's see here. I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, the 5th, I thought it was just 1. The 5th one, I didn't realize this was one of the things. Here's number 5. Fox bets Jesse Waters can help retain viewership at 8 p.m. Really? Is there anyone who's left Fox that's, Jesse Waters is on at 8. I'm going to go, are you kidding me? But they left something out of that. What Jesse Waters did to his current wife and former mistress, if I did what he did, or any of you did what he did, you very well may get arrested. Remember what he did? Now, when he was married to his first wife, the mother of his first batch of kids, I always see him bragging about his new kids with his former mistress, the homewrecker, but the kids from his first marriage. Okay, so he gets off of Fox. Remember this, what Jesse Waters did? The Hill left this out. But I'm going to share it with you. While the mother of his children was at home taking care of the children and waiting for Jesse Waters to come home, Jesse Waters had a thing for an intern producer at Fox News Channel. So he went out to the parking garage and let the air out of all of her tires. Okay? All of her tires. And then he sat in his car and waited for her to come out. Now, yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is stalker behavior. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that guys get arrested for doing. Can you imagine if I did? Yeah, he let the tie. This came out about a year or so ago, and then he went on a Fox vacation for a couple days and came back, and they forgot about it. So the mother of his children, his wife is at home with the kids. He's off work. He let the air out of all 4 of the intern producer's tires. And then he sat in his car and waited for her and came in for the rescue. And this is when it gets beyond stalkery and gets in really creepy things. Then he offered her a ride home. And the reason he let the air out of all 4 tires is that if he did it just to 1 tire, well, she's got a spare. So, you got 4 tires flat. What are you going to do? So he stalked her, letting the air out of the tires. I don't know what the law is in New York, but I believe in Florida that may be a crime in Florida. I don't know about New York. And then he waits in hiding for her to come in for the rescue, and he set up a ploy to trick her to get into his car, which is, by the way, at this point, that's what Ted Bundy did. Ted Bundy, the well-known serial killer, I'm not saying Jesse's a serial killer. He didn't kill anyone, but he used a Bundy-like tactic. Ted Bundy walked around with his arm in a sling, pretending to try to load things into his car. And when a woman that he wanted to abduct came by, he would ask her for help and then use that as a tactic to knock her over the head and get her in the car. These creepers want to get the woman into the car. They want to get the woman into the car. So he did it. Next thing you know, he's having an affair. He leaves the mother of his children, and now he's married to the woman that he saw. That was left out of this. That is creepy as creepy gets. Any other man would get... And I remember they sent him on just a couple-day Foxcation. And he came back after, I don't remember exactly how many days, but I believe it was less than a week. I talked about this at the time. And then he came back, it was on the 5, and they say, oh, anything happened the last few days? Oh, no, nothing happened. And you know how that story came out? Jesse Waters is so twisted, he didn't even know that there was something wrong or creepy about that. They were having a discussion on the 5, and he told the story on the air about how while he was married, he let the air out of the tires. And she's a lot younger than him, too. He told the story, and that's not something that someone does just once. That, you know, these creeper guys have, you know, they have behaviors that they do over and over again to trap people, to do things. And he confessed on the air that had happened. He's so sick he didn't even realize it was. And they got rid of Bill O'Reilly because someone claimed that he made some comment about hot chocolate. Are you kidding me? How did Jesse Waters not get fired from Fox for that? Remember Eric Bolling? They made some ridiculous, absurd claims about Eric Bolling. Got rid of him, but Jesse Waters, we know that this is true because he was bragging about it on the air. And let me tell you something. If I found out that my daughter was dating a guy or was married to a man that meant her by doing that, I would tell my wife to leave that man because he's a dangerous man. That is not the kind of guy. And I'll tell you something, you ladies out there, okay? You married women out there. If you were the former mistress of your husband, which is what Jesse Waters' wife is, his former mistress, and you found out about that flat tire story and that's how you met, what would you think? And I remember when Jesse Waters told the story about letting the air out of her tires so he could come in for the rescue, get her in his car. Judge Janine was on the panel, and I think it was Judge Janine that asked him this. Might have been Gutfeld. I think it was Judge Janine asked if his wife knows that that's what happened that night. And he said, well, she knows now. Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine? Over at the Hill, why isn't that in one of the 5 things people don't know about Jesse Waters? I think that's more interesting, that 5 things you didn't know. He's a Fox insider. Oh, wow. Ooh, boy, that's exciting, the Hill. Put me to sleep with that. He's a creep, okay? And that is some of the, let me tell you, listen, I know a lot of guys, I'm a guy. I know guys that are creeps and weirdos, and believe me, I've known over my life. I work in radio. There's a lot of creeps in radio, okay? I've known some creeps. But I'm not friends with guys that do things like that. I'm not friends with guys that strand women at night in parking garages. On purpose, they do this, sabotage their vehicles so that they can get them in their car. Because you know what the whole goal is? The goal isn't getting her in the car. The goal is getting her into bed. So he used this creepy manipulation because a married man with children at home wanted to have sex with this young intern producer. So he put this whole thing in motion to get her, not in his car, but get her in bed. But first he had to get her in the car, and then he got to drive her home. And I don't know how long after that they ended up having sex. I don't know. But I know that that's pretty sick, twisted, disgusting behavior. One quick one. One of the, I don't remember her name, but one of the younger blondes on Fox, did any of you see the segment when he was talking to her about eating hot dogs? Oh, yeah, that was another one. Yeah, there's a lot of things missing on these 5 facts that you don't know about Jesse Waters in The Hill. All right, we'll take our break and be right back. I mean, come on. I mean, describe with that story of mine. Describe Jesse Waters in a word. Well, yeah. I've had stalkers that are listeners over the years, and that's stalking, okay? I've had stalkers. And I take stalking very seriously. I've been a stalking victim, sadly, over the years, many, many times.
You can also meet with them over video calls, Zoom, etc. Again, toll free 855-FLA-3782. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week.
All right, I look forward to it. Thank you, Brian.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. I got a very important question to ask. Do you or someone you know or love suffer from neuropathy? Then listen up. I'm going to give you the help you've been dreaming of, searching for. Suffering can end. Call Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano, okay? They have a treatment for your neuropathy symptoms that works. I've seen it rid Steve Kane of his neuropathy symptoms, and I've met many of our listeners who have had the same experience. Neuropathy is a terrible, torturous existence. Steve went to his doctor, said there's nothing you can do for neuropathy. That's your life now. And Steve begged and pleaded. His doctor gave him a referral to a neurologist, a specialist in such things. Steve went to the neurologist. The neurologist says there's no treatment for neuropathy. There's no treatment for neuropathy. Go home and suffer. That's your life now. Get used to it. Well, that's not the case. We found Lighthouse Medical Center. Well, actually, I found them for Steve because I just couldn't believe that there was not help for neuropathy. But there is at Lighthouse Medical Center. And I want to give the number. When you call them, make sure you mention you heard about them on the radio. Then you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. Also, if you can't make it into their office in person, that's okay. They can still help you even if you can't make it to the office, no matter where you are. Here's the number, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642, and online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
John. I'm up here in Tallahassee.
Hey, John in Tallahassee. What's up?
Yeah, listen, let me ask you a question. Do your knuckles drag the ground when you walk? Why are you attacking Jesse Walters and everybody like you're doing, okay? He's a good guy, Jesse Walters.
You don't even know his name. It's Jesse Waters. Maybe you're talking about somebody else.
Don't make fun of me, young man.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for calling me young. I appreciate that. Well, I'm not making fun of Jesse Waters. I am sharing a disgusting story that he shared on television about stalker-like behavior, and I don't have respect for men who have sex with other women when their wife is at home waiting for them.
You're attacking him and you don't know what you're talking about.
No, I know. He said that he let the air out of all 4 tires of a younger woman's car and sat in wait while the mother of his children and wife was at home waiting for him to come home, and set her up so he could rescue her and get her in his car so he could make his move. Is that the kind of behavior that you think a man should be doing?
Yes. He's a comedian. That's what he gets paid to do.
No, it was not. I know you would. It was a true story he told. In fact, Judge Janine was in shock. She was sitting there and was really upset with him.
Nah, they go out and drink every night. What are you talking about?
Okay, you say it was a joke. So what you're telling me is that if the story is true and he didn't just make it up, that would be a terrible thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah?
He's fine.
You think what? You think it's fine for a married man to stalk other women and have affairs when their wife is at home waiting for them to come home from work? You think that's fine?
If he did that, Fox News would fire him.
No, he's told the story on the air. He told the story on the 5, and then they sent him on vacation for a couple days.
Entertainment. It's entertainment. It's what they pay these guys. Jesse Waters is just a comedian. He's paid to...
You know, yeah. Bill Cosby's a comedian too. Bill Cosby's a comedian too. Just because someone's a comedian doesn't mean that they can act this way.
Just like Gutfield, he's a comedian. Just like Tyrus. Tyrus is another big stupid.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard Tyrus or Greg Gutfeld talk about letting the air out of women's tires to leave them stranded so they can make their move.
Heyman, you're putting everything out of measurement here.
If I did that, if I let the air out of the tires of a woman's car in the parking lot so that I could go in for the rescue and get her in my car and drive her home, what kind of person would that make me?
Let me tell you something. You're taking so you could be sued.
He told the story on the air. He told the story on the air. He told the story on the air. I never heard no story as a double negative, which means you heard it. Oh my goodness. Tallahassee. There you go, Tallahassee. Tallahassee, that's where Governor DeSantis is supposed to be, but he's probably somewhere else. At the end of the call, you could tell he can't believe that somebody would. I can't either. Okay? Listen, this is the thing. Just because someone is a Republican doesn't mean we give them a free pass on things. Don't you understand that's what the Democrats are doing to Joe Biden? Joe Biden was busted taking a $10 million bribe, and they're still supporting him. Let me play this clip. This is John Solomon, who's a very good conservative journalist. He used to be for many years with the Washington Times, and I want to say we've had him on the show long ago. We may have. I think we might have had him as a guest once or twice. I can't swear to that, but I think we have. He had the phone number for Biden's cell phone that it has come out that Hunter's been paying for.
Oh, so I've never told this story before. Only my editors of the Hill knew this back in 2019. I early on got some documents from the Hunter Biden laptop. By the way, before it was turned over from the FBI, there had been some documents that law enforcement had gotten through other means. And one of those documents got leaked to me, and it had a cell phone number that Hunter Biden was paid for. So I figured, oh, this is my chance. Maybe I can. I've been trying to get fair comment from Hunter Biden, so I'm going to call the cell phone. So I called the cell phone, and guess who picked up the phone?
Oh,
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. So it's proof that the records are true. And all these things coming out about Joe Biden and the Democrats, okay, they don't care. They excuse them, okay? And you don't want to be in that position with Republicans. We used to say long ago, back in the Clinton years, that Democrats would vote for Adolf Eichmann if he had a D next to his name on the ballot, which is a pretty hardcore way of saying that they just care about party affiliation. They don't care about the person. And there comes a time when there are people that you've got to call out. And we've got a lot of problems in the Republican Party. The main problem we have in the Republican Party is the Republican Party is trying to lose the next election. That's what Paul Ryan was talking about. And the reason, I was talking earlier, the reason we didn't perform better in the midterms is because Fox News didn't carry the Trump rallies when he was campaigning and endorsing different candidates running for the House and Senate. And they were great rallies. I watched them, but they didn't carry them on Fox. And we have, unfortunately, the Republican establishment leadership that has a lot of influence and power doing everything they can to cost us the next election, and we need to call these people out. I don't care if their name is Jesse Waters or not. You got to be careful who you hitch up to. When I saw those people hugging Hunter Biden, at that state dinner over the weekend, I couldn't believe. They know they're being filmed. They know there's a camera, that they're going to be on television. They know people are taking pictures. Everything that's come out with that guy, if you think what Jesse Waters was bragging about doing is okay, why do you think that Hunter Biden's done anything wrong with his sleazy life that he's done? Right? You cannot have it both ways. Either you're standing up for moral conservative principles, or you're just a partisan hack who only holds moral principles to people that you don't like. I hold everyone to the same standard, okay? And I don't have to always agree. You know, like Tucker Carlson, I don't agree with him on a lot of things. I've seen him say and do things I don't agree with, but I know he's honest, I know he's moral, I know I can trust him. It doesn't mean we always agree. All right? You know, so, you know, we don't have to agree 100%, but we got to agree on the big picture. And the big picture here is this, that Fox News is working with the Uniparty to stop Trump. There are some isolated people over there that are doing good stuff, including Mark Levin, by the way. You know, Mark Levin, out of everyone who's left on Fox News that they haven't gotten rid of, is probably the biggest Trump supporter and Trump defender out there. And it's, you know, he just doesn't care. I think that if Fox News let Mark Levin go, in a way, I think he would enjoy it because it would allow him to really share his thoughts. As much of a defense as he's been giving to President Trump lately, in particular with the special counsel releasing that recording to CNN, he said they should be in jail over this. That is not the popular position to be taking at Fox News. And I think almost Mark Levin is daring them to fire him. I really do. I think he wants to be fired so he's free of them. He may be under a contract. I don't know. Maybe he wants to be a Fox News martyr. I don't know what his game is. But I do think that he is ticking them off over there big time because they don't like what he's doing. They don't like what he's doing at all. All right. Now, before we take our break for the top of the hour, I want to tell you about Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Oh, man, it is hurricane season. And if you've got a leak in your roof, you need to get it taken care of. Tom Laporta will never sell you a roof you do not need. If you just need a simple repair, he'll do it. And here's the cool thing. The new insurance laws in Florida allow Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting to deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of repairs. This is new. It was not always this way. In the past, you had to hire a public adjuster, or a lot of people go to attorneys. And they get a cut of what they get for you. I told you my story. After a hurricane, I needed a new roof. My insurance company, they said, no, we're not going to pay for a new roof. I hired a public adjuster. About a year later, they got me the settlement, but I had to give the adjuster 20%. So I had to come up with that 20% for the replacement cost of the roof out of my own pocket. With Tom Laporta, you may not need an adjuster, you may not need an attorney, and with him dealing directly with your insurance company on the cost of the repair, you don't have to come up with that other 20%. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between, including the Tampa area. And as I said, he will never sell you a roof you do not need. And he does great work. He rebuilt Steve's whole house because Steve neglected the leaks in his roof, and he did an incredible job on Steve's house. He pretty much rebuilt the whole thing, and he did a beautiful job. You can find Tom online at LaportaContracting.com or give him a call. Now, this number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. Make sure you tell Tom Laporta you heard about him on the Steve Kane Show. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. We've got more to cover that I have not touched on yet. This is another one of those extremely busy days of news. And the news has disappeared something that they made a big deal about a couple years ago. We'll get to that after the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian. This is Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK
What I'm going to talk about when we get back is, have you noticed that they have dropped the tape story? I haven't seen them go over that tape story in quite some time. There was a crime in my neighborhood, and the police came to my house. They wanted to see our surveillance camera footage, if we had footage. That's what happened. UPS warehouse worker, $85,000, had to work every day that year. Plus, I work every day. I don't get any days off. I work every day of the year, 7 days a week. Even on Christmas, I'm working. I don't get a day off. The closest I get is the cruise, but I have to do work on the cruise.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Come out to the newly renovated poker room at PBKC, open daily for cash games, high-hand giveaways, mega bad beat jackpots, and big money tournaments. You can also play your favorite casino table games like Ultimate Texas.
When I was trying to get Emma to date me, first thing I did, let the air out of her tires. When I was...
Okay, I pulled up the audio of Jesse Waters. I'm going to play it when we get back, because the guy didn't want to believe it.
When I was trying to get Emma to date me, first thing I did, let the air out of her tires. She couldn't go anywhere. She needed a lift. I said, "Hey, you need a lift?" She got right in the car. Does she know this story? No, she doesn't know this story.
Does she watch the show?
The Jesse Jr.
Who basically the Zodiac Killer.
It has a happy ending. Really?
Oh my gosh, see, there it is. Okay, I'm going to play that when we get back for the guy who said I made it up. I pulled it up while I was talking to him, but I wanted to listen to it first before I played it on the air to make sure it was the right clip. I know. Kathy wants me to cut back. She says I'm working too much. I had to listen to make sure it's the right clip, but I'm going to play this when we get back.
Including the best thin crust pizza in town. Forget about it. Where else are you gonna get delicious beef braciole, linguine clam sauce, lasagna, pork chops? Nowhere. My prices are insane. Stop going to those fugazi joints. You're not gonna find great food and entertainment like at Uncle Eddie's. Where else are you gonna go and have the owner sing for you? Come down to Uncle Eddie's, 4050 US 1, just north of Donald Ross Road. 561-508-7799. Hurry up in.
Love the outdoors and the open road? Don't miss RV Hour, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Hosted by Giant Recreation World second generation owner and CEO Larry McNamara.
All right, I'm coming back.
And his co-host Wayne Adams. RV Hour, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Right here on the True Holdings Channel.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. Okay, so a guy called up a few minutes ago claiming to be from Tallahassee and says that I made the whole thing up about Jesse Waters and the tires. So I pulled up Jesse Waters on the 5 telling the story. He's sitting there with Greg Gutfeld, Judge Janine, and I'm not sure who else is there. I'm sure Perino's there. I don't know. I'll look at this. But I pulled up the audio. So if the guy in Tallahassee, turn your radio up a little louder. This is Jesse Waters telling the story about letting the air out of the tires of his former mistress while his wife, the mother of his children, was at home waiting for him to come home from work. This is Jesse Waters. It's on the 5. It was on television.
When I was trying to get Emma to date me, first thing I did.
Oh, wow, this is worse. So he was trying to get her. So before this happened, he was trying to date her while his wife was married to him still. Call us on hold. Hang in there.
Was trying to get Emma to date me. First thing I did, let the air out of her tires. She couldn't go anywhere. She needed a lift. I said, hey, you need a lift? She got right in the car. Does she know
this story?
No, she doesn't know the story.
Does she watch the show? Jesse Jr. does.
You're basically the Zodiac Killer.
It has a happy ending.
Really?
Yes,
Did you really do that?
Is that the first time you did it, or did you use that before?
It works like a charm.
Wow, so we did it before. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's your new 8 o'clock guy over there on Fox. Yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning, caller. Yeah, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Brian. How you doing, Brian? Yeah, you beat me to the punch. The thing is, if you play that whole segment even a little bit more, Judge Janine asked if he's done it before. And that's when he realized he should have shut his mouth.
Yeah, he said it worked like a charm. That part played at the end. He said it works like a charm.
Right, that means he's done it before. You could tell he's done it before. And then Greg Gutfeld made the statement about a stalker. I forgot he said Zodiac. But the guy that called in that defends these kinds of things, the reason I called in is it goes back in my mind once again to arrested development. These people will never learn. They will always defend their own. Why would Jesse be let go on a vacation if it was only a joke? It's my point to the guy who called in. So now you heard the tape from you. You heard it out of Jesse's own mouth. Explain that being a joke if he was still let go on a vacation.
Yeah.
It was a serious matter. And the other reason why I called in is I remember it being around the time when Whoopi Goldberg had made the comments about the Jews and the Nazis or the Holocaust. And she got in hot water too. And remember, she got a couple of days off.
Yes.
Be fired.
Yes.
So this happened all around the same time with Joy Behar saying certain things, Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes.
I remember this all at the same time. That's all I called it.
All right, well, I appreciate it. Maybe the guy from Tallahassee can call in and retract his statement.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, take care. All right. Oh, just got a text. Steve's joining us. Hey, Steve, good morning.
I don't know what's...
Well, lots of things are good.
Obviously, you have... Do you remember the last time we talked?
Yes.
When was it and what...
Last night, and it was about the IRS whistleblower on Brett Baer.
And what was the gist of what we talked about?
Watch the interview. I watched it this morning.
I'm a little put back here this morning.
Why? Why?
Because I would say yesterday was perhaps one of the most exciting and interesting and incredible days in the history of, well, probably in the history of the U.S. In terms of talk radio. And I tuned in here. I called you so we could talk.
Well, I did talk about that earlier. I've been on, Steve, for over 2 hours on the air, okay? And I did talk about that earlier in the show.
Come on.
I understand. Okay, I watched the IRS whistleblower interview, and I don't find it that eventful. I know there's a lot of hype around it, but I don't find it that eventful.
You find it interesting to do this wonderful piece about Jesse Waters, who I think is one of the most talented hosts
All right, at Fox.
But that's not a problem.
Well, Bill Cosby's a talented man too, but he behaves in a terrible way in his private life.
If you're comparing
Waters to Bill Cosby? Well, no, Bill Cosby's much worse. Okay, Bill Cosby's a terrible person, but his talent doesn't trump what he does.
Are you aware that the show you just did in the last hour you have done before almost forbidden?
No, there's an update. There's an update with Jesse Waters. No, it's not. There's a Steve. There's you're a little bit off mic, by the way. There's a big press PR move going on Jesse Waters. Okay, because they moved him from 7 to 8 o'clock, so they're doing this whole big media blitz about it. And I was reading this article, and it's 5 things you didn't know about Jesse Waters, and it was so bland and nothing. And I thought that this other fact was something that most people don't know about Jesse Waters that's much more interesting than what The Hill wrote.
It's not more interesting, and
well, it is to me.
Anybody that has listened to this show through the years has heard that story because we already did.
No, it was a long time ago. It was a year or so ago, and not everyone knows about it. And what better time to revisit it than when they're going? What did I miss? That is the most exciting thing. What did I miss?
The discussion of what went down yesterday with the whistleblower.
No.
That you're hard.
Then Jesse went. Oh my goodness! I have to. You can't say that, Steve. You can't say that, Steve. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. That's not the first time I've dumped Steve, by the way. I had to dump. It's been many years, but you're upset. Okay, I won't. We'll move on from Jesse Waters, Steve, because it's a trigger. It's a pressure point here.
Last night, and I wanted to prepare a little bit for today's show.
I watched the interview with the whistleblower. Listen, after the break, I'll tell you what's going on with the whistleblower. Okay, callers on hold, stand by. We'll also take some calls as we await the delay to build. I was going to take a call before the break, but we got to wait for the delay to build back up since I had to dump Steve for the first time in many years. Okay, the dump button's for callers, not us, but sometimes.
Take that phrase.
No, you can't do it. You can't. There's some words you can't say. All right, listen. I can't say it. I'll tell you after the show. All right, we'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now.
Oh my. Oh my goodness. You can't say hard on the radio station. You can't say hard on. That's what Steve said. Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy all those fancy gadgets yourself, but what good are they without the humans behind the technology? Sloman's believes in their people so much, they give you the technology for free. So, not only do you get a human security advisor, you get a customized home security system with professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. The system includes LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 armed doors, and backup battery. But most important,
Pete Hegseth, I have no idea.
Stand behind it. So call Sloman's at 1-833-283-5050. That's 1-833-283-5050. Sloman's, the difference is human.
Because we're on 6 radio stations and there's FCC regulations on what you can say on the radio. That's why.
I invite you to join me at the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce because here we're all about community. With like-minded people and businesses, the Chamber will help your business grow, and you get to connect with people that will become your best friends. Weekly events give you ample opportunities to learn alongside talented professionals. At the Delray Beach Chamber of Commerce, we are better together. Become a member at delraybeach.com.
Do you suffer from knee pain? Have you been told that you have bone on bone or need a knee replacement? Have you been told that you have osteoarthritis? Well, then come see us at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have non-surgical solutions that include rehab and injections that can prevent you from having to have surgery or prolong the surgery. We've been in practice for 75 years in South Florida. You don't have to live with pain any longer. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
All right, we're back. Calls on hold. Stand by. Steve's here. I'm Brian. I want to tell everyone there's a great special going on right now at mypillow.com with our promo code Kane. Now remember, you can always use our promo code Kane for any special you see at mypillow.com. But I want to talk about the MyPillow pet beds. I have 2 of these. I used to just have one, but I got tired of moving it from room to room, and they're so affordable, I got a second one. The MyPillow pet bed, they come in 3 different sizes, just $19.99 with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. They're 50% off right now. They're completely machine washable. You put the whole bed, and it washes everything, not just the outside cover, but inside. And the inside has that same patented fill as the MyPillow. My dog and my cat love the MyPillow pet bed, and your furry family member will too. So go to mypillow.com and order your MyPillow pet bed, 50% off, just $19.99. They come in many different colors as well. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I did watch the IRS whistleblower interview. In fact, he was doing a media blitz. He talked also, I think it was ABC News, too. Well, I think I just have a different theory on what's going on than what you may have, because I don't know what your thoughts are on it. Well, with Steve, we've got 40 minutes left. It's not like the show's over. We can talk about it now. I mean, I don't understand. There's still a show to go. But the IRS whistleblower is really it's a fake story. There is no whistleblower, okay? And the guy's not really a whistleblower. Just like the FBI whistleblower from a couple weeks ago. These are not real whistleblowers, okay? What's going on is Joe Biden was not supposed to run for re-election. He went out and said he was doing it. The deep state want him to drop out of the race, so they're bringing these people out to try to get him to announce he's not running. They had the FBI whistleblower that had the document that gave the Marjorie Taylor Greene committee the account information on the $10 million bribe that Biden took. Now we got this guy who said, it was pretty shocking what he said. He said that Hunter's attorney is the one who decided what the sentence would be, right? that was my favorite part. But that's all putting pressure on him to get Biden to get him to drop out of the race. These are not real whistleblowers. They are agents for the deep state, in my opinion. And I've been following them both, the IRS and the FBI whistleblower. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, they just basically cleared Hunter of everything. That's settled, and they wiped out all these crimes he did. Today, he's testifying in this civil case with the guy from the computer repair shop. That'll get taken care of. After this legal case got taken care of, Hunter also settled his child support issues like 2 days later. They're on to me, it seems like they're putting pressure on the Bidens to get Joe to drop out so they can plug in Newsom or somebody. And that's what all this stuff is. I don't think any of these are real, true, organic whistleblowers.
Creative.
Yeah.
Suggestion.
Yep.
Worth discussion, but I'm having trouble getting my mind around.
Well, that's what's going on. Well, let's take some calls. The phones are ringing, and if you guys have any thoughts on any of this, you're welcome to call in. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Tom Pompano.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Gotta tell you guys this, Steve. An Appleton a day keeps the pain away. I love Appleton. This guy is incredible, and Appleton does take care of neuropathy. Appleton.
Oh my gosh, this guy. You know who that is? Tom, the Trump hater. Tom, the Trump hater. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go. These guys. We have, let me tell you, I won't mention Jesse Waters, but Steve and I have stalkers, okay? We have stalkers. There are different kinds of stalkers. They're not trying to have sex with us or trying to get us in their cars or beds or anything. But we have a lot of creepy guys who are obsessed with us. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian and Steve. How you been?
Oh, hey, Wisconsin Gary. How are you?
Gary, how are you doing?
Doing good. Real good, Steve. Steve, you know, before you came on, I was listening to Brian and everything else about, you know, this whistleblower that all of a sudden was supposed to be like the biggest thing that probably in the nation. To me, the biggest thing in this nation that would really be to all the American people would be to see President Biden be handcuffed, taken in life sentence for the rest of his life.
No.
The family in there. That would be the U.S. history thing.
Hold on one second. We don't know how this thing is going to end, all right? Which is one of the things that makes it interesting. Are you saying you don't think there will be any consequences for, other than having to resign? There'll be no legal consequences with it?
None. And he's not even going to resign. And Steve, he's not going to resign from office either. They're trying to get him to not run for re-election. And he'll probably still do that because he and his wife are sickos.
And I agree with Brian because of the fact is, look at everything that has happened in Washington currently. You know, it's like nobody is accountable, but they want to hold a former president, you know, that they started a lot of legal obligations towards him, and the most vetted president ever in U.S. history. Even had people at his house. It's never happened before.
Hold on one second. I would say one thing, everything is obviously very fluid, but I would say one thing that it is for sure, that at the rate it's going now, there is no question that Biden is going to be impeached. There is no question that the Attorney General is the one I want to see nailed. Because Garland, I think he was one of the ones that's really has been a major player in this thing. And I think they're going to lose their position in government. And I think, in fact, if there's an impeachment and then the impeachment with Biden could end up in removing him from office. Because they have the
No way.
Some people get together, it could happen.
Wait. The Senate is going to remove... Wait, slow down. The Senate is going to remove Biden after an impeachment or Garland?
Both.
No, Steve, you're dreaming. You're dreaming.
It's safe because Democrats got the Senate right now. They're not going to do it.
You need 3/4 of the Senate to remove... And let me tell you, it seems to me that our fake MAGA Speaker of the House, why has he not impeached these guys yet? What's he waiting for? I mean, we just got Biden took a $10 million bribe. The House has the bank account information. They didn't pay taxes on their bribe money. Why haven't they done it yet?
There's been a lot of that stuff has process of getting the evidence.
Maybe, I hope so. And Garland, yeah, go ahead, Gary.
Point that I want to. Here's one point, Steve, that you got to realize during the.
You don't think Garland's going to get impeached?
50-50. 50-50.
But if you remember, Steve, during the last election, how they were put.
Yeah.
Senate, but now they don't have the House, but they have the Senate. There's no way.
Steve, they could hardly listen. Look at how difficult it was for them to censure that creep Adam Schiff the other day. They had to do 2 times. The first time he got cleared. If they can't censure, which is a meaningless word, it has no impact. Adam Schiff, how are they going to impeach Garland or Biden? I just don't see it happening. We're late for the break, Wisconsin Gary. Good to hear from you. Hold on, Steve. We'll take our break and we'll finish up with this when we get back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oops. I walked away with my microphone on. Okay, so that that guy that called in that I told Steve was Tom, he has called this morning. I just went in there to show Mike how many times he's called this morning to get on the air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 50. He's called 75 times. He called. Oh, can you hear me? Okay. The guy, I went in, as I was showing Mike, that guy that called in, I told Steve that's Tom, the Trump hater. He's called about 75 times since 7:15 this morning. 75 times he's called this morning. Can you believe that? Maybe a few more. I know, these people are nuts. See what I got to deal with back? You guys have no idea what I'm dealing with. No idea. Yeah, when I say I got stalkers, they're just all men. I can't show you because I don't want to show his number. Calling constantly since 7:15. Let me see when his first call was. He's still calling now. His first call today. No, I take that back. It's worse. He called about 75 times since 7:45. So in 45 minutes. It may be a few more. I mean, maybe a few more than that. Yeah. Why do you think I have so much security at my house with cameras and everything? And at the radio station, we've got cameras and security and everything's combination locks. To get to where I am right now, you got to have 3 different combination security locks to get in. That's why there's security on the bathroom, the men's room. You have to have a code to get into the men's room. Same thing. Mm-hmm. I hear a lot of people telling me they don't like Jay from Jersey. You know. Yeah. All right, we're back. You know, Steve, that guy Tom that called in earlier, I said that's the Tom, the Trump hater. I just looked. Since 7:45, he has called at about 75 times, nonstop, over and over again, till he got on there. Oh my goodness.
We can salvage the lid.
Oh, okay.
This last half hour is what the whole show should have been about. I believe that something is happening that has never happened before. Now, this comes under the heading of a prediction, and you make a prediction, you take a chance, you could be right, you could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on this, but this is what I see. I think what you're seeing now has never happened before.
Which is what? What's happened?
There are a couple things going on. Number one, the press. The press had that scene with Brett Baer last night when he brought on the whistleblower on the news. On the news, okay? I don't think there's ever been a scene like that before where they were able to reach the American people with the story firsthand, with a guy sitting there talking on the news. And see, they get by with all this stuff because the press has been covering for them. They get by with all this stuff because nobody really ever, you know, between the manipulation of the press and
yeah. Was that the dumper?
They've never been exposed like this before. And I think it's only just begun. And I think by the end of this saga that is going on here, we will see things happen that have not happened before in American history. Because I agree with you, we all know how corrupt everybody is, starting with this judge that's coming up to decide whether Hunter's verdict is going to stand or whether they're going to reconsider it. I think there's all kinds of potential for seeing stuff that's never happened before. And I mean, stop and think about it. Has there ever been a moment like was on the show last night with Ripper where the main witness came up right in your face in the middle of the 6 o'clock news?
Yeah. Okay. This is the thing. There have been 2 whistleblowers about Biden in the last 2 weeks. The first one was the FBI whistleblower who had that document from the Justice Department and gave to Comey, the committee that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Comer have. And the FBI whistleblower gave them the information that allowed them to get the bank account information of Biden receiving the $10 million bribe, right? That's one whistleblower. Now we got this IRS whistleblower. I stick by my thing. No, I watched the interview this morning before I came on the air, okay? And I also read the interview that he did. I can't remember if it was ABC or CBS, but I read that article too. And what the guy says is damning things. I mean, he said to Bret Baier, I'm pretty sure it was Bret Baier, not the ABC, you know. But he said that the Biden lawyer is the one who decided what the sentence was. Yeah. Yeah.
A certain percentage, a tiny, tiny infinitesimal percentage of the overall population caught the Bret Baier thing last night, although they did replay it later in the evening. It's starting to make waves now. It's just beginning to, the real effect is beginning to settle in. But when America becomes aware of this, there's going to be a reaction like we haven't really experienced before. I think there's going to be a big reaction to it over a period of time. It's going to take a month, months before.
Well, I hope you're right, but Steve, I don't know. This is what
that tape with Hunter and the Chinaman.
Yeah. Oh, the WhatsApp message and all that? Yeah.
Think of that. And probably only 5% of the population at this point has heard that. But that's going to start expanding exponentially.
Steve, this is what's happened, okay? I agree that this is hardcore stuff that's coming out, but how it's going to play out is where you're wrong. This is the deal, okay? We have seen what's going on before. We saw it with Richard Nixon and Spiro Agnew. We've seen it with well,
between
Nixon caved. He should have stood up to them.
No. John, where do you get?
Well.
No, not the Nixon. Nixon, you're gonna love this. Nixon was a decent person.
I agree with you on that.
He recognized the deleterious effect. There's a great word for you. There's a remedial word for you. The deleterious effect.
Yeah.
Having on the country, and rather than put the country through what he knew was coming, he, because of his love.
Well, no. Well, that's true. I'll agree with that.
If he destroys the country, he's going to fight it out to the end, and they're going to. So this is going to play out different than Watergate because of that.
No, and no. When I wasn't done, and this is what. But Steve, this is what. Okay.
Play out that if 5% of the public know about it as of today, it's going to start. The percentage of people knowing about it is going to expand and expand and expand and expand. When public sentiment reaches a certain point, the safety that you're projecting onto to the Bidens, father and son team, is going to start to evaporate.
No way. See, and it's the same thing they've been doing. It's the same people that brought down Nixon are the same ones that have been after Trump, and they're the ones that are going after Biden right now, okay? The reason that Nixon went down, he was a decent guy, I agree with that. What he did was jaywalking compared to this guy. But Nixon and Agnew were Republicans, so they get. Biden's going to get away with everything. All they're trying to do is get him not to run. Here's the thing. This. At some point, probably, and they're going to use health. They're going to use the health thing. That's why this. They trotted him out on front of television with the mask marks on his face yesterday. They're moving towards using a health issue for him not to run. They're probably just negotiating the financial settlement, the golden parachute that him and his scummy family will get for the rest of their lives. But this is what's going on, Steve. The J. Edgar Hoover files that they still have and have been expanding on, right? The files that they use to control politicians, that if you don't do what we want, we're going to give this information. They're giving Joe Biden a couple pieces of information from their file on him to get him to play ball. Like when they went to Trump with the fake dossier. We'll be lucky if he gets impeached, and there's no way he's getting removed. Same goes for Garland. And they're not going to, because Democrats, Steve, they're like James Bond. Democrats have a license to kill. They can do any crime they want to do and get away with it because they're Democrats. Only Republicans get in trouble. Really. I mean, come on. Bill Clinton was beating women up and it got like reelected. You know, I mean, goodness. You know, no. Well, we'll find out. I mean, we got to take our break, but I think that the whistleblower is not a whistleblower, both of them. I think they're working for the deep state. I mean, Steve, this guy last night on Bret Baier, a career lifetime government employee who's now unemployable now in the government service and all the connections of the government, came out on Bret Baier and took on the two most scary organizations in our government, the IRS and the FBI. Give me a break. And the other guy took on the Justice Department. I don't buy any of it. I think what he said is true, but I think they're fake whistleblowers. I think they're working for the system. I think he's still working for them. I think what he did last night on Bret Baier is part of his employment with the government. Well,
this whole thing started. Don't you wish that we were at this point in the show with an hour and a half to go to discuss it?
No. I think I don't know. No. Well, listen. Well, let me give out the number. On which side are you on this? I think Steve's dreaming. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the...
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking?
Metals giving us a great buying opportunity. To push towards the $1,900 support level has finally proved itself, and we've seen it touch 1,900 this morning on gold. So that's been the one thing that we thought it could get down to, and it has finally pushed its way down over the last couple of weeks by putting in lower lows and lower highs. So now we see this. We'll see if this is the turnaround point. A lot of people were waiting for this number, and if that's the case, there should be a lot of buying coming in today. Yesterday we saw gold close down $6.30 at 1907.40. Silver was down 16 cents at $22.68. Platinum closed down $13 at $911. Palladium closed down $32 at $1,236. As I said, we've had a push to test that 1900 support level. We're right at that right now, down $7.40. Silver down 14 cents at $22.55. Platinum testing the $900 number this morning, down $10 currently at $901. And palladium down another $34 at $1,202. As you know, palladium has had the worst performance over the last year of all the metals. Of course, it had a huge run up and then has come down substantially. So that metal's certainly out of favor, and it has been out of favor with us for quite a while. As you know, we've not recommended palladium at all. But gold looks like a buy right now at around 1,900.
Yeah, and you know, I know a lot of people have been waiting for a sale like we're having today, and it's also a great time for you to get some of your favorite coins that are at a bargain price right now at William Youngerman's. And William, obviously, we can't predict what's going to happen later today, but when we get an opening this low and people start coming in and buying later in the day, things could really be going up. You open up at 10, people can call in and lock in that current price. Can you tell people how that works about locking in a price?
Yeah, you can call in and lock in a price. If you see something, a number hits that you want it to, call in, lock in whatever you're looking to buy, and then wire the funds within an hour, and we hold the price for you.
Yeah.
It's a call.
Yeah, that's a great deal and an opportunity that William Youngerman offers Steve Kane Show listeners. All right, here's the number. Now, again, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. His number, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, williamyoungerman.com, or stop right in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman will finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, our number one, Triple H, Go Kane 1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yep.
Yes, good morning, Brian. This is Philly Cheesesteak David calling from Delray Beach, Florida.
Oh, that's some name.
I called in about Anne Marie.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember you now. Yes. What's on your mind?
I just want to say that I can believe what you guys are talking about as far as the party trying to talk Biden out of running in the next election. However, I can't believe for 1 minute that anybody in this country would try to get him out of the White House, leaving Kamala Harris in the open.
No. They're trying to get him to not run for re-election and just finish his term and plug in Newsom or something. In my opinion, I don't, yeah.
I agree. There's no way that anybody would try to remove him from office, leaving Kamala in the Oval Office.
This is where Steve and I are differing, okay? These whistleblowers have, on both of them, the guy last night on Brett Baier and then the FBI guy a couple weeks ago, the stuff they came out with on Biden was huge. In particular, the $10 million bribe, okay? Because that's crazy. And he also gave them evidence that he took the money and then delivered on what he took the money for. So it's crazy, okay? But for these things to come out, I think it's the establishment trying to just get him and Jill to announce they're not running. I don't think these are real whistleblowers. I think they're operatives of the deep state, not whistleblowers. What do you think, caller?
I agree with that as well.
Yeah, you think they're real whistleblowers? Oh, Steve. I mean, look at how they've destroyed. No, Steve, look at how they've destroyed the lives of the people around Trump. Steve Bannon's going to jail. You know, how many people around that worked for Trump went to prison or are going to jail or have been arrested? These whistleblowers, they put the screws to. I wish they were real whistleblowers. I just can't feel. I just don't feel it.
What do you two think about Bobby Jr. in the background coming out as a front runner?
That's not going to happen. Not going to happen. He's not. He's going to run and run and run, and then they're going to have their convention. He's not going to get it. He's not going. They're not going to let Bobby Kennedy Jr. get the Democrat nomination. He can't be controlled. All right. All right. Thanks for the call. Yeah. Let me tell everyone about Dr. Appleton. Oh man, you know, his laser wave pain treatment is a life changer. It really is. You know, when you're suffering with pain, if you're suffering with pain, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you have in the past, you know what I'm talking about. It's tough. And the pains that he rid me of with his laser wave pain treatment were so bad. Some of the pain was so bad, I just wanted to go to sleep. You know, it just was so bad. And now that I'm pain-free, I've gotten more active, I've lost weight, and I'm enjoying life again because I am pain-free. Living with pain is not just a part of growing older. And stop taking pain medications. There's two things about it. If you're taking a prescription one, well, you know how that can turn out. You can turn out like Hunter. But if you're even over the counter, all you're doing is masking the pain. And if you have pain because of something that's wrong with you and you're doing things you shouldn't be doing because you've masked the pain, you can make that condition worse. The laser wave pain treatment, there are no drugs, no injections, no surgery, and no downtime. And it works on so many kinds of pain. Arthritis, bursitis, hip pain, knee pain, lumbar pain, neck pain, back pain, tinnitus, tennis elbow, stenosis, herniated disc. And that's just the first few. If you're in pain, go and see Dr. Appleton. Make sure you tell him you heard about him on the radio so you can take advantage of his no-charge consultation, okay? Walk-ins are welcome and appointments are not necessary, even on Saturdays. He's open Monday through Saturday. He's a chiropractic physician, Dr. Appleton, and he wants to rid you of your pain. You can find him online at appletonchiro.com or give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. All right, so we're back. And I'll tell you, Steve, what really got me maybe jaded about all this with the whistleblowers, I was talking about this earlier. This was, I wish I would not have seen this. I saw something I wish I had not seen. And maybe you saw some of this. The pool camera at the state dinner over the weekend that Hunter was at. And I was talking to you about this on the show a couple days ago. I saw all these big shots waiting in line to kiss Hunter Biden's ring. They had a line, and these are all big people, billionaires and millionaires all. Some of them politicians and elected officials. They couldn't wait to get up to Hunter Biden and shake his hand, hug him, take a picture, suck up to him. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear the discussions. Men and women sucking up to him. And these are all Washington insiders. And I saw that footage over the weekend, and I said to myself, all this stuff we're seeing on TV is fake. He's the Prince of Washington. He doesn't have a worry in the world, and these people in Washington are as scummy as he is and don't care. And there's something else in play here. And really, all they need to do to Biden to get him not to run is the same thing China does. Just buy him. You know, I mean, if they could buy him off, he would announce he's not running. But you know, did the whistleblower and Brett Baer? I didn't see the panel after, Steve. Did you watch the panel after the interview? On Brett Baer, did you see the pan? Yeah, last night I did not see the Brett Baer panel after the interview. Did you see that? What did they think would happen to Joe or Hunter over this?
Very anxious to find out.
No, nothing.
If the judge isn't going to reverse her opinion.
You know, this guy, Steve, these guys, I was so disgusted by what happened with Hunter this week. He got away with this stuff. He got a slap on the wrist. The whistleblower said anybody else would go to prison. They'd have felony charges and go to prison for what he did, right? Then he goes into family court with the baby mama, you know, the stripper that has the one child. She got her child support payments cut like to about a quarter of what they were, and I mean, think of it, he was paying like $20,000 a month, and I think the settlement now is $5,000 a month, and they took the Biden name away from the daughter. The little girl can't use the name Biden anymore. They took her name away. So on one day, he gets cleared of all the wrongdoing, right? Gets this fake probation thing. The next day, he gets his child support payments almost completely wiped out, and his daughter has the right to use the Biden name taken away from her. This guy,
We've got to see where it goes.
Well, to me, it looks like it's going to, but you know, the
major stuff for the general public just broke yesterday.
You think so? We're just too close. Well, the only thing that I think could probably happen with Hunter is this, okay? He's like his father. He's led a life of crime, okay? This guy's been doing scummy things his entire adult life, okay? And what happens with people when they get away with the thing, you know, like when he went to that state dinner, a normal person would not have gone to the state dinner. They would have been embarrassed, you know? And he doesn't have a fear in the world. He got new teeth, Someone like him, what do? They always reoffend. And when he reoffends, when his daddy's not the president anymore, it won't go as easy for him. He'll really get in trouble. Like when he was in the Navy and he tested positive for cocaine, or when he turned in the rental car with crack in it, you know? If you or I turned in a rental car with crack in it like Hunter did, they'd call the cops on us. They'd be checking out the car while we were checking out at the rental place. He's not going to get away with those things when his daddy's no longer president. So in the future, like in Trump's second term or something, Hunter will probably get arrested and go to jail. You know, it's like OJ, got away with murdering 2 people, and then he got himself locked up again. No, not that I was here for 2 hours before you joined, Steve. We talked about all that. With what? With the Hunter thing? I haven't heard him comment on it yet. The new well, I was going to talk about that after the top of the hour, but we didn't get into it. If you noticed the tape story with Trump, they've disappeared that story. The tape leaked out like what, 2 or 3 days ago, and that was it. It was a one-day story, which shows you what they got. I told you the tape clears Trump. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Cal, listen, Giuliani is singing, and Trump is going to be incarcerated very shortly, so he's not going to be on a...
Trump's going to be incarcerated. Donald Trump?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to be incarcerated for what?
Well, he's going to be convicted of obstruction of justice.
How are you going to get a conviction with a 12-member jury in the most MAGA jury pool in America, Fort Pierce, Florida, in St. Lucie County?
Verdict based on the evidence.
Oh, so the MAGA judge appointed by Trump is going to bypass the MAGA jury and convict? You're dreaming, Al. Do you know the jury pool is the jury pool is made up of an area that went 71% for President Trump in the last election. 71% towards President Trump. How are they going to get 12 people to convict him?
Trump has asked you to drink some Coke. You instead decided to snort it.
Okay. All right. You drinking, Al, already? Well, listen, we're out of time for today, but we'll be back tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow's Friday. That means open phones, and we call it, yeah. Okay. We can do that. But Friday is also open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. Any and everything you have on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. But Steve and I will have a bunch of stuff like this to talk about that hopefully you'll find some interest in as well. But Friday is always Open MAGA Mike Friday. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. It is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. God bless America, and God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
All right, guys, I got to run, but I'll see you soon. Take care.